kicked in the can. I'm still trying to catch my breath, and there's no better way to do it than to bring in somebody that I respect and admire. Stacy Peralta, welcome back to Sundance. How are you?
Thank you.
Good to see you back. It seems like, what, it's been 2 years?
It's been 4 years,
4 years.
2008.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's been 2001, 2004, 2008.
All right, well.
And now 2012.
You're back, and we're glad the snow's here, because you're like one of the guys that comes in to do your film, but at the same time, you spend more time on the mountain than you do in the studio.
Yeah, because it's so uncrowded this time of year.
Yeah. Well,
everyone's watching films, so we're going to hit the mountain.
Okay, do it during the day, during the morning, when everybody thinks it's too cold, whatever is out there. The film is called Bones Brigade.
Yeah.
It's another classic Peralta documentary. Let's talk about a little bit about it. What started it out?
Tony Hawk and a group of skateboarders that I had started a team, in the 80s.
Right.
About when I made Dogtown, they came to me and they said, "Look, we feel we have a legacy that is as good as Dogtown, maybe even better."
Well, it's based on Dogtown too. I mean, those guys.
It starts where that left off.
Okay.
But Tony and the guys asked me if I would make this film, and I just, at the time, about 8 years ago, was not comfortable doing it because it would require me as the filmmaker to play a dual role. I'm part of the story, just like I was with Dogtown.
Right.
So I put it off. They kept hitting me with it, and about a year ago, they came to me and said, "Look, we're now older than you were when you made Dogtown. Would you please reconsider?" And I said, "Okay, guys, I'll do it."
Yeah.
And so once I said yes, we just got on board to do it, and the film just unfolded. It was the easiest production I've ever worked on in my life.
Well, and something like that too. I mean, 10 years ago, Tony Hawk's still relatively young. I'm not calling him old, but
you're right.
Still relevant, still competing, that kind of
Yes.
thing. Now, there's more of a story to tell now. There's more of an arc,
right?
Maybe to his life and to everything that was going on.
It really is the story of the team Tony Hawk grew up on, because very few people realize that when Tony Hawk started, he was kind of like the ugly duckling. He was the 13-year-old kid that nobody thought had any potential whatsoever. And the group of kids that he was a part of, which was the Bones Brigade, were very similar. But yet they would go on to become the most influential of their time, of their generation,
well,
and the most successful of their time.
What makes that? What makes them influential? Meaning they just reached a different crowd? I mean, kids who maybe connected with them more than others?
Well, for instance, I'll take two of the guys that I feature in the film, Tony Hawk and Rodney Mullen. Tony Hawk has probably invented 50 to 100 maneuvers. Rodney Mullen invented what's called modern freestyle.
Right.
And these guys played such a significant role in inventing modern skateboarding, and then they would go on to become international icons. Tony Hawk's the most recognizable alternative athlete in the world today. I mean, in the whole world.
It's funny, I have an 8-year-old who, is starting to get into skating and snowboarding and that kind of thing too. And Tony Hawk's his hero. And Tony Hawk is my generation.
Right.
Tony Hawk is as old as your dad, so but he's still relevant.
But check this out. These guys, Tony and Rodney and the rest of the Bones Brigade guys, they're in their mid-40s.
Right.
They're still professional skateboarders. My generation, we had 3 years. We were done by the time we were 21.
It's because of the tube socks, Stacy. It was the tube socks. It was the hair.
No, it was more than that.
It was the striped tank tops, man. It was, the swimming pools. Come on. I mean, well, and that, I joke, but at the same time,
I think you're right. I think it was the style that killed it.
It really was. But you guys really built kind of that infrastructure. Seriously.
We started it. We got a taste of it.
Yeah, that renegade guerrilla attitude toward skating, where you would just go wherever there was concrete and wherever there was a dip. And now they're building. Every park in America has a skateboarding park, mostly to keep the kids away from the mall, I guess. But but the idea is it's a recognizable industry and it's a recognizable sport.
Well, the thing is, it will always be illegal, which makes it so fascinating to kids. But at least parents understand that it's not something that's that you have to shun your kids away from doing like they did in my generation, because they didn't understand it. And so it's a new thing now, but it's got that, kids will want to, they will always want to skateboard in parks, but they will still always want to sneak into somebody's backyard and do it illegally. Yeah. It'll never lose that factor. And sports like baseball, football, they don't quite have that.
Yeah, I can't sneak into my neighbor's backyard and play football. It just doesn't have the same feel to it.
Exactly. So that's what makes skateboarding, that's what keeps it honest. Yeah. It keeps it fun.
Are you still skating? I know you do a lot of snowboarding. You do a lot of that.
I do snowboarding. I'm really addicted to the stand-up paddle surfing.
Stand-up paddle surfing?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's completely wrecked
my kind of one of those, artificial wave type of thing?
I've never seen this. You stand on the board, and you have a paddle.
Yeah. Oh, just...
It's a new form of surfing, and it's wrecked my ambition completely. It's destroyed me. That's all I want to do.
Really?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I still skateboard, don't get me wrong, but
I've never heard of this.
It's a whole new thing. Laird Hamilton developed it about 15 years ago, and I try to do it literally every day.
Really?
Yes, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a 16-year-old kid again.
Well,
because of it.
You've been 16 since you were 16, Stacey. Come on, let's be honest. There's nothing more satisfying to me than to be able to, walk the streets of Sundance and see everybody racing to films, and then Stacey's running down the street with a snowboard on his shoulder trying to catch the lift.
Well, no, this is the dream place to be. If you're a filmmaker, if you're an independent filmmaker, there's no better place on earth to be. And being here will be the high point of my film. It is. It always is. And Sundance is the mecca if you are an independent filmmaker, and it's everything I dream about. I gear my films to try to hit this deadline, and this is my 4th trip here, but every time is first time.
When do you premiere? When's our film?
We premiere tomorrow night, Saturday, 8:30 at the Mark Theater.
Mark Theater, it's a great, they've redone that theater too.
We're
so
super
it's gonna
excited. It's a lot of seats, and we're jazzed, man.
All right, Bones Brigade, welcome back, and good luck with the film. This is Stacy Peralta, and his film will be premiering tomorrow night, and we'll be talking more about it during the week, I know, because I'm going to see it. We'll be back with more In the Can after this.